We're back. You're watching CNN. I'm Brooke Baldwin. President Trump was able to keep his job after his impeachment, but he has made sure that others in his administration have not. Now, the Senate's top Democrat, Chuck Schumer, is urging all of the nation's 74 inspectors general to investigate witness retaliation. This is happening just 2 days after his acquittal. The president fired the two witnesses who provided arguably the most pivotal testimony in the impeachment inquiry: Lieutenant Colonel Alex Vindman, Trump's top expert on Ukraine, and former ambassador to the EU, Gordon Sondland. Also fired Friday, Vindman's twin brother, who was an ethics attorney at the National Security Council. And Schumer ends his letter to the acting IG of the Defense Department with this, quote, "It is incumbent on you that whistleblowers like Lieutenant Colonel Vindman and others who put their lives on the line to protect our freedoms are protected for doing what we hope and expect those who serve our country will do when called. Tell the truth." Retired Brigadier General Peter Zwack was Vindman's supervisor when they both worked in Russia. Brigadier General, a privilege to have you on. Thank you so much.
Privilege is mine.
You have spoken to the Lieutenant Colonel in the last 72 hours since this all happened and he was ousted. Can you share some of that conversation with me?
Very simply, I was his boss in Moscow in a very, very difficult time for 2 years. I know Alex. I've known him for a long time. We do not routinely speak. That's just because of the way life is. Mm-hmm. These were mostly, I've spoke to him probably 3 times in the last 3 months by phone, usually after a major, if you will, assault on his character. These are what I would call morale support calls, and not about any type of advice or strategy or anything like that. But I think that that Colonel Vindman right now, I think that he's hurt, he's insulted, he's uncertain about his future. He wears, not wore, the uniform proudly. He's uncertain of that future as well. And I think that seniors at a very, very high level should not dump that way publicly by statement or by, the God gun of a tweet in demeaning his personality. And the other thing that offends me greatly is that so many other people have piled in that don't even know him.
This is emotional for you. I hear it in your voice. I see it in your eyes. You're angry. This is someone whose character. Tell me about the man himself. Tell me about his integrity and his character, and especially in the wake of the fact that he was escorted out.
Yeah, first of all, he is part of what you would call the American success story. Immigrants that come in 1979 from Soviet Union, Kyiv, Ukraine, self-made through Binghamton, gets accepted into Harvard program through the Army. So this guy is all about doing it, and by the way, his brother as well. So they're all self-made. My experiences with him, he's always been direct. He's candid, and people need to understand that about him. He will tell you he has the courage of his own convictions, and he would correct me sometimes, and we'd have healthy, if you will, what you need in organizations and hierarchies, a back and forth and discussion, and not if you will, control and edicts and things like that. He's reliable, and I trust him implicitly.
You would trust him with your life?
I trust him with my life because I had to. We were in Moscow, and it wasn't just him, it was a number of his peers, great Americans that were in a difficult period there as attaches, where if you don't trust each other, you're going to fail. Mission's going to fail, and we all did. So I have that background with him, and that's why I am out defending him now.
Do you think, in your opinion, was this witness retaliation?
I think that this was punitive. It didn't need to be done that way. People, when you serve on the NSC, you do serve at the behest of the president. But for the military, but really everybody there is the president, but there's also the greater, if you will, Constitution.
Sure.
And I think this was punitive. It didn't have to be. He could have been allowed to say at least goodbye to his peers. And
he wasn't allowed that. He just was.
He was not allowed.
Did he explain to you what was done?
insulting. It was offending. It was wrong. And these are people much more. Lieutenant colonel is a serious rank. He had a serious responsibility. But in that hierarchy, he's still carrying the weight of the world around him under a lot of stress. And I think he's comported himself well and proudly. And I am proud not only to call him, if you will, as a retired military officer, a peer, but I call him my friend.
Let me get to this, because this is Trump ally, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, who has defended Vindman's dismissal. Here he was.
I think his reassignment was justified. I don't think he could be effective at the NSC. As much as I support our military people telling the truth when asked, it's important they do. What have I learned in the last 2 years? CIA agents, Department of State, Department of Justice lawyers, FBI agents have a political agenda, and they acted on it. We found that out through the FISA investigation. As to Colonel Vindman, he was not allowed to be asked questions about his connection to the alleged whistleblower, to people working on shifts.
He was asked, and he denied.
No, he was not. They did not allow him. They did not allow the Republicans to go down that road.
Your reaction to the senator?
Yes. First, I'm a proud member of a retired member of the intelligence community, and if you will, Army and interagency. And I guess that makes me a card-carrying member of the deep state. This is ridiculous, okay, to come in this way. These people are great Americans that are often put in a difficult situation. Senator Graham, I've always had a lot of respect for you. I met you when I was in Afghanistan in 2008 when you arrived with Senator McCain and Joe Lieberman as part of the Three Amigos. We thought you guys were rock stars. Where are you now, sir?
Brigadier General Peter Zwack, you are extraordinary.
You are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wow.